All right, let's go ahead and look at page 17. Okay, so page 17, right, we continue on with page 16 where we just talked about angles, right? So it says the measure of an angle, and let's just call it measurement of angle A, can be approximated with a protractor. A protractor is a tool that we are going to go ahead and use next class, okay? And it's measured in degrees, right? We always have this little degree symbol, okay? Angles have the same measure. If it's same measure, that means we have congruent angles. And we know that congruent means equal, right? All right, so there are 4 different kinds of angles. Okay, there's an acute angle, a right angle, obtuse angle, and straight angle. Okay, so we're going to first start with an acute angle. So an acute angle, this angle is super, super cute. So I'm going to say that it's super cute. Super cute, which means that it is small. Okay, and so an acute angle, these are angles less than, right, so smaller than 90 degrees. Okay, a right angle, this is straight up going to be 90 degrees. Okay, an obtuse angle, is going to be any angle more than 90 degrees. Right, we see that this pattern, right, we're dealing with 90 degrees, our right angles. And then a straight angle is going to be 180 degrees. I can add an angle, 90 degree angle right there. Okay, a straight angle goes with a straight line. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our pictures. So an acute angle, well, let's actually start with my 90 degree angle. So the way that we draw 90 degree angles, right, we have our 2 rays. Here's my vertex. Here's my first ray. There's my second ray, creating my 2 sides of my angle. And the way that we know it's a right angle is if there's a little box. This little box tells me that it's a 90 degree angle. So I could say 90 degree symbol. Okay. So then an acute angle is any angle that is less than 90. So here are some examples. Okay, so on my vertex, I could draw my 2 rays. This one is less than 90. Right, I can look like almost like a 90 degree angle, but like a little bit less. Okay, anything that is less than the 90 degrees. Okay, obtuse angles, they are greater than 90 degrees. So I can have my vertex, I can have one right there, and again, slightly larger than that 90 degree angle, or I can go even bigger and go like something like that. Okay, these obtuse angles are bigger or more than 90 degrees. And then my straight angle, this is just a straight line, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. Now, really, my vertex is somewhere in the middle, but the way that we say that this is a straight line is that we have this little, it's not a tick mark, it could be a tick mark, a little tick mark, and I like to just go ahead and put 180 degrees. It is a straight line. Okay. All right. Number 3. So it says, tell whether the angle appears to be acute, obtuse, right, or straight. Right? So I like to go ahead and highlight. And I know we don't have that many highlighters, so maybe we can also just look at them. But I have angle JKN. So remember, we start with the first letter. The second letter is the middle letter. And then here's that third letter. So here we go. We have this angle JKN. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is my 90-degree box. So this is my right angle. Then I'm going to take another color. I'm going to do KMN. KMN. Ooh, what is that? It's a straight line. So then it is a straight angle. Okay, let's go and take another color, PQM. This angle right there. Right, it's a very small, so it's very, very cute. So then we have an acute angle. All right, let's keep going. JML. JML. Again, super, super cute. So we have an acute angle. QPM. QPN. Ooh, super cute. So it's also going to be an acute angle. Okay. And last but not least, we have PLK. PLK. Ooh, it looks kind of big. So then we have an obtuse angle. Okay. All right, that's it today, guys. We just labeled, or we identified our 4 types of angles.